Natalie Chevery. My story started at the tail end of 2010, but it really flourished in 2011. So at 4 Days Halifax, I pitched the idea of opening a locally sourced food truck, which would serve Mexican and Korean food, drip down your hand type of like taco spiciness on the street using locally sourced meat and produce where possible. And the creative ambition of this project was to spark a food truck movement in Halifax. So I sort of scratched my head a little bit and thought, how am I really going to do this? And through 4 days, there was an event called, it was a social enterprise event, and it was called Bar Philanthropy, where people paid $30 to get in, but then they get $25 back in local investment chips. So we gave our pitches, all the people that had done like sort of the incubator to develop a elevator pitch for this idea. And then I gave the pitch and came in second and made $400. But again, I was still like, how am I going to open a food truck, or what's going to happen with this? So I traveled to Mexico in the end of that 2010 year. And then when we were in Mexico, we saw this really vibrant kind of DIY street food culture. And then I thought, oh, my backyard. There's I do a lot of gardening, and just the joy of eating outside and open air eating. And suddenly it all came together and started clicking that I could DIY my food truck into existence. So we opened what we called Young in Dublin Open Air Eating, and it was an open air eating club where people came and sat at tables in a sort of pergola structure that we built using local milled lumber from the valley, and then we covered it with a tarp that came from like an old skating rink. And then we served food from a menu, and it was a by donation sort of menu, and it was Korean and Mexican food. So it was a lot of like big flavor, and all the meat that we used, following one of the guiding values of the pitch, was sourced from like local producers that made, delicious locally pastured meats. And then our goal was that at the end of 17 weeks, so we started in like June something, and then we went for 17 weeks, twice a week, Thursdays and Saturdays, where we served food. And then our goal was to raise between $5,000 and $8,000, and also to do like some market research and market study of like what do people want, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of 17 weeks, we met our goal, and we made $5,040, which was really awesome because that gives us the capital investment that we are going to use to do the next step of the project. And then Local Joe Cafe invited us to do like a supper club there. So we're starting that really soon. And that was my big success and passion in 2011.